type of government controlled mechanism. Government controlled mechanism means I cannot, I hope that ILO. Where? Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay. A government controlled mechanism. Because they are the owner of the organization, because they only donate, they only contribute money for them. So whatever these governments, state governments, national governments, doing against the labor, unfortunately, our international system is not able to understand, not able to interfere. That is quite unfortunate. The development takes place that the governments are becoming very powerful. The trade unions are forced to become weak. Why it is happening? There are three major partners in the show. One is the government, no doubt about it. One is the government. Second one is the investor. Whether it is government, whether it is private party or company, whatever it may be. Third one is the labor. All these three partners work together, respect each other, consider mutually, consult each other. Then only things will be going in a very progressive manner. Otherwise, the entire thing will collapse. So today or tomorrow or day after, in India that will happen. Because the government goes on creating a problem, creating an atmosphere, the progress of the Bharat Rajya. It is something different. This approach will never strengthen this country. Otherwise, it will be ruining the country. How there is a devaluation happened? What happened after the currencies with this philosophy, this policy, we can never agree with that. So, friends, we are expecting very good decisions, very powerful decisions in the convention which Madam has announced on the 30th of January 2023. We will go accordingly the decision taken in the National Convention. I want to make very clear understanding. AITUC is always, whatever politics come in, whichever government comes in, today a government, BJP government, tomorrow whatever happened, Congress comes back, whichever governments come with anti-labor policies, wrong policies against the workers and poor, INTUC will stand up and say no to that developments, no to that reforms. I fully endorse the view taken by AITUC, that is the pioneer organization, 102 years old pioneer organization. That organization, being their state and national conference, past feelings come together. The entire working force of this country will march ahead and see that this government is sent away from the power in 2024. For that, I wish all you, the consolidated effort of labor movement, and also to bring about unity among the political organizations also. That is not a small thing. We have to talk about the unity by using the labor strength, And communist organizations, AITUC or CITU, I know that. Their political parties first and foremost important organization, they always consider the trade unions. In our party, it may not be like that. But still, all these delegates, including the fraternal delegates, will be a very, very happy stay in Alleppey. And I also wish them a good stay, comfortable stay. Wish you all success. Thank you. Jai Hind.
थैंक्स, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। कॉमरेड गेट पर क्यों खड़े हो? कॉमरेड गेट के नज़दीक आप लोग क्यों गपशप कर रहे हो? आप अपनी जगह लेके बैठ जाओ। अब हम CITU के प्रेसिडेंट डॉक्टर हेमलता से आग्रह करेंगे कि वो अपना स्पीच दें। डिलीवर योर स्पीच इन a better way, you will believe. So,
Respected President, leaders on the dais, my colleague, Central Trade Union leadership, the General Secretary of WFTU, the international delegates, and all the delegates, observers, and friends attending this conference of AITUC. On behalf of CITU, I extend my warm fraternal greetings to all of you, and I thank for giving me this opportunity to address this conference. The CITU also is having its conference in Bangalore, and I think after 1 month, the INTUC also will be having their conference. So these conferences we are having in a very difficult period for the working class. As Comrade Amarjit has already referred, the working class of our country, and not only of our country, the working class in the entire world had to pass through a very difficult period, a very challenging period in the last 2 to 3 years. It was not only Corona. The COVID had a definitely adverse impact, particularly on the poor sections of the workers, the unorganized workers, the workers who are in precarious employment, whose number is growing across the world. But all people, lakhs of people have died across the world and crores have suffered. It was a health crisis, one of the worst health crises in the history of humanity. And actually, it need not be that so many lives should have been lost. Because of the negligence of the government, because of the negligence of the governments to protect the lives of the people and the livelihoods and incomes of the toiling people, these people had to suffer despite the scientific and technological knowledge which we have today. And we all know the largest number of infections and the largest number of deaths were in the USA, which is the most powerful country today. So the workers we have suffered, and instead of providing any relief to the workers, to the people, in most of the world countries, like in our country, where the pro-corporate governments were ruling, they have taken advantage of this lockdown and the COVID pandemic to impose more burdens on the people, on the workers and the toiling people. And we all know, Comrade Amarjit has also spoken about that. The global crisis was there even before the pandemic. The crisis which started in 2008 did not subside, and it was there before the pandemic. The pandemic has only worsened the crisis. And today we see unemployment, job losses, worsening working conditions across the world. And in our country, as in other capitalist countries, the Modi-led BJP government has taken advantage, and it is during this period when people were suffering, when lakhs and lakhs of migrant workers has lost their jobs and incomes and had to march towards their, they are going ahead with this neoliberal agenda of privatization. When privatization could not succeed, they could not go ahead as fast as they wished. Now they have adopted the national monetization pipeline. They have formed the National Land Monetization Corporation. So all these are to suppress the rights of the workers, to enable the corporates and the employers class to increase their exploitation, increase their profits and amass their wealth. So as the Joint Trade Union Platform has correctly named, the big corporates of our country, but also to the foreign countries. So that is why we call this government anti-national. At the same time, we feel happy from the CITU, we feel satisfied that during this very difficult period, the central trade unions have come together, and despite all the restrictions and difficulties, they have raised their voice against this government's policies, and they have tried to protect the rights of the workers and their working conditions. You all know that as early as May 2020, when the restrictions were eased a little bit, all the central trade unions have come out to demonstrate, to protest, and they have held. And it is during this period that two massive strikes were held. One on 26 November 2020 and the two-day strike March 28th and 29th of this year. So these are, and in addition to that, we have held several demonstrations, courting of arrest, and several different programs. So it is these united actions and interventions of the joint trade union movement which have given the confidence to the workers and the employees that we together can fight the policies of this government. And I think it is during this period also a very significant thing has happened in our country, where the farmers also have lodged a historic struggle against the three farm laws. They have come together, more than 500 organizations of the farmers have come together, and under the leadership of the Sanyukta Kisan Morcha, more than 1 year struggle, particularly blocking around the, sitting continuously around the borders of Delhi. And this struggle of the farmers were fully supported by the trade union movement. I think this is a very significant thing, that the two toiling sections of the country, two sections which produce the wealth of the country, the workers, the peasants and the agricultural workers together, they have come, and it is this which has forced the BJP government to repeal the farm laws. Of course, the farmers were very consistent. They have sacrificed more than 700 people, lost their lives, but it was also the support, physical and total support of the Joint Trade Union, a platform that has ensured the victory of the farmers. And we also, we cannot say that the Modi government has gone back on its policies. It is continuing with its policies and aggressively continuing these policies. But at the same time, we have to note that because of our joint struggles, till now the government has not been able to implement the labor codes. Of course, they are implementing the different aspects through backdoor, but all the same, officially the labor codes have been passed 2 years back. The rules also have been prepared, but till now they have not been able to notify the rules and implement them because of the resistance. And similarly, the bank employees, they have gone on strike and continuously they have struggled, and because of that sustained movement, example of the electricity amendment bill, the government wanted to pass it, introduce it and pass it, but because of the resistance, because of the struggle, and which was supported by the farmers movement also, they also have opposed the electricity privatization, and because of this they are compelled to refer it to the Parliamentary Standing Committee. So I think there is possibility. Our experience during this period shows that wherever we are united and we are continuously fighting, we are able to compel this government, force this government, and at least delay its neoliberal policies. So what we need today, I think, is to strengthen this unity. Today at the national level, as our colleague, INTUC leader, Comrade Chandrasekharan, he has told, there is unity. Even on the Charter of Demands, in 2009, when we formed the Joint Trade Union Platform, where the BMS was also a constituent, the Charter of Demands were agreed upon all the central trade unions. And on that charter, we are fighting today, adding a few depending upon the situation, but the basis is that Charter of Demand which was agreed upon by the entire trade union movement of our country in 2009. So there is a unity on the demands, there is a unity that the policies of this government are against the interests of the working class, and we are united, and there is unity on the need to strengthen this united struggle and to take it to a higher level and compel this government. And when we are talking about unity, this government as well as the ruling classes, the big corporates across the world, they are trying to divide the workers and divide the people. In our country, we are seeing how the BJP and its mentor, the RSS, they are trying to divide the people on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste, on the basis of language, etc. And across the world, we see how the right-wing forces are coming up to divide the workers and the toiling people, pitting one section of the workers against the other, against the migrants, against the ethnic minorities. So these are the tendencies. Because of the crisis of the capitalist system in the, across the world, the ruling classes are resorting. The exact nature may be different in different countries. In our country, it is the BJP and the other communal forces which are trying to divide the workers. In other countries, it may be the others. But it reflects the crisis in the system. So it is this message what I think is we have to take it to the workers about the crisis and the desperateness of the ruling classes to come out of this crisis by imposing more burdens on the people, on the toiling people, on the workers, etc., to divide them. So we have to take this message of unity to the lowest level, the unity which we have consistently maintained. We have to take it to the grassroots level, at the factories, at the villages, at the offices, and then also we have to create that awareness among our workers, our members, and the entire working class about their immediate issues, how they are linked with the policies of the government and how the politics are being played to divide the workers and in the interests of the corporate classes. So I hope, as Comrade Amarjit have said, you have definitely in your delegate session, you will discuss about all these things. And in our conference, we will be discussing this to strengthen the unity, etc. And the 30th January convention in Delhi, the National Convention, the Joint Trade Union Platform has decided to take up a year-long campaign on Common Charter of Demands. So we all together will make it a strong campaign, and whatever the convention will take the decisions, we all together will implement that, and so that a very strong resistance can be built and we will be able to collectively, unitedly defeat these anti-worker, anti-national policies of the BJP government and also its attempts to divide the workers and polarize the society for their political gains. With these words, I again congratulate all of you and extend my warm greetings and thank you all.
Comrade Thomas, सेक्रेटरी एचएमएस से आग्रह है कि अपना संक्षिप्त भाषण दें।
Comrade President Rajiv Kumar, Ahmadajit Kaurji, and distinguished personalities sitting on the dais, His Excellency, comrades, I will not take much of your time. As pointed out, this is the land where the trade union movement originated in Kerala, and where you are meeting in a historical period. Are you ready to start with a new history? That's the question before you. This is a time of introspection. This is a time of evaluation. You are having your 42nd session in the premier organization of the trade union movement in India and in the world. AITUC is the prime organization for which the Indian Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was once the president. So proudful organization, so meaningful organization, and an organization which can change the history of India. I expect it. I am an old man now. I am colleague of your president. I have come through certain experiences. I am not taking my time to share all those experiences, decision making to go forward. Because you are all, we are all in crossroads. There are 800 million people as working class in India. What is our density? We all go, they present us a picture. You people, the last meeting of the ILC, what the labor minister declared